Cultivating Inner Drive, Turning Aversions into Alignments abstract. This article explores practical strategies for maintaining productivity during periods of low motivation in the workplace. It examines how established routines can reduce decision fatigue and create predictability, while breaking tasks into manageable steps generates momentum through small wins. The article highlights the importance of aligning challenging work with natural energy peaks, leveraging social connections for accountability, and practicing self-compassion during inevitable productivity fluctuations. By implementing these evidence-based approaches, including structured schedules, task segmentation, strategic energy management, social support systems, and balanced self-care, professionals can fulfill their responsibilities effectively even when enthusiasm wanes. The comprehensive framework offers actionable techniques for leaders and employees to navigate motivational challenges while sustaining performance and preventing burnout in organizational settings. Nobody feels motivated and enthusiastic about work all the time. Even the most passionate and dedicated professionals experience days when they just don't feel like working. However, as leaders and employees, we have responsibilities that require showing up and putting in the effort each day, regardless of how we feel. Today we will explore research-backed strategies for staying productive on low-energy days and provide practical tips and examples for how they can be applied in an organizational context. Establishing routines and structure. One of the most important things anyone can do to stay on task when unmotivated is to establish clear routines and structure for their workday. Research has found that routines provide several benefits that can counteract lack of motivation. Routines help free up mental resources by automating certain tasks and decisions, reducing decision fatigue that saps willpower. Lowry and Gardner, 2013. They also create a sense of predictability that satisfies basic psychological needs for control and certainty. Deci and Ryan, 2000. In practice, developing routines looks like creating a detailed daily schedule with start and end times for specific tasks. Block out periods for checking emails, focusing on a project, taking breaks, etc. Starting each day with smaller, easier tasks. Successfully accomplishing quick wins builds momentum for tackling bigger projects later. Avoiding open-ended days by setting clear deadlines. Give yourself hard stop times rather than working until tasks are done. For example, a marketing manager at a tech startup keeps her mornings structured by reserving the first hour for responding to client emails. She then blocks out her afternoons for creative layout design work. Setting these routines helps her stay focused on work obligations even when motivation is low. The power of small wins. Another strategy supported by research is breaking down large, daunting tasks into smaller, more manageable steps that can be easily accomplished. Lock and lay them, 1990. Having a sense of progress through crossing off to-do items, known as small wins, releases dopamine in the brain and creates a self-sustaining cycle of motivation. Amabile and Kramer, 2011. Some ways to harness the power of small wins include creating detailed to-do lists with specific, action-oriented tasks. Avoid vague items like write report, and instead break it into discrete steps, focusing on just one subtask at a time rather than the whole project. Cross items off the list one by one. Celebrating small accomplishments regularly. Give yourself a quick pat on the back for finishing each task. For instance, a project manager divides a product launch timeline into phases like design prototype, secure vendor contracts, and run beta test. Checking off subtasks under each phase boosts her sense of progress, keeping her moving forward day to day despite low motivation. Managing energy levels throughout the day. It is also important to recognize that energy levels naturally fluctuate throughout a workday. Being aware of energy changes and planning accordingly can maximize productivity on unmotivated days. Hockey, 2011. Consider these evidence-backed strategies. scheduling more challenging tasks for high-energy periods like mornings. Save easier work for afternoon slumps. Taking micro-breaks every 90 minutes to recharge. Even 5-minute breaks boost focus and motivation. Exercising during lunch to improve afternoon energy levels. Just 10 to 15 minutes of movement helps clear the mind. Avoiding meetings and collaborative work during low points. These require extra mental effort. For instance, a direct marketing manager reserves her mornings for data analysis and strategy development. In the afternoons when fatigue sets in, she schedules lighter tasks like reviewing reports. Taking walks at lunch helps maintain her energy for client presentations later in the day. Harnessing social support. Another proven way to stay motivated is drawing on social support from coworkers. Haslam et al. 2009. Even brief social connections release feel-good neurotransmitters and satisfy our basic need for relatedness. Some socially focused strategies include checking in with an accountability buddy each morning and sharing goals. Verbal commitment boosts follow-through. Collaborating with others on projects when lack of motivation is high. Working together makes tasks more enjoyable. Taking coffee or lunch breaks with colleagues to discuss non-work topics. Brief socializing recharges the brain. For example, 2 product managers schedule daily stand-up meetings to provide progress updates. On days no one wants to work, they make an effort to connect in person and bounce ideas off each other, which helps energize both of them to keep moving forward with individual deadlines. The accountability and social support received from a coworker goes a long way towards motivating effort. Maintaining perspective and practicing self-care. No strategy works perfectly every time. So it is important to maintain perspective on inevitable setbacks. Allowing space for rest and recovery prevents burnout that further diminishes motivation over the long term. Sonnentag and Fritz. 2015. Some self-care practices include being kind to yourself on unproductive days rather than harshly criticizing lack of accomplishment. Self-criticism undermines future effort. Closing out the work week fully on Fridays and avoiding weekend work when possible. Separating work and personal time replenishes energy. Engaging in relaxing hobbies and spending time with family, friends outside of work. Personal fulfillment balances work pressures. For instance, a sales director blocks out every other Friday afternoon for attending her daughter's soccer games, even if she hasn't crossed everything off her to-do list. Allowing family time prevents resentment and stress from building up. Taking a break helps her feel recharged to tackle upcoming deadlines. Conclusion: there will inevitably be days when staying motivated to work is a struggle. However, establishing clear routines, focusing on small wins, managing energy levels, drawing on social support, and practicing self-care provide research-backed strategies for making progress even without ideal levels of enthusiasm or inspiration. Leaders and employees who develop skills in these areas will be better equipped to show up productively for their responsibilities each day as needed. While lack of motivation will never be fully avoided, these evidence-based approaches can counteract its negative effects, maximizing productivity and satisfaction even during challenging times.